I mean, not to compare it to this, but like the World Trade Center, for example. They're like, we're gonna build it bigger, better.
That fucking stymied.
Why do you think we can't get any good ribeyes here in Medellín? I don't know how to cut a chicken. I mean, you just cut the wings off, right?
Why would you just cut their wings?
And it sounds like ABBA, and they're gonna release it.
AI is?
Yeah.
AI is going to get paid itself. She's got $500,000 in the bank,
Yeah.
and she's just fucking 6 months old.
But instead of that, I mean, right now they're still escalating. You know, they have the Marines there. A whole bunch of cities are planning to have protests. So this might be the calm before the storm.
Not fake news. It's not deep seek or whatever. This is, the President of the United States. I'm free here. I don't feel the pressure. I am more free here than in the United States. Not everything they taught you in school was right. A lot more problematic in the United States.
You know, take it there, but cockroaches in Houston are nasty and fly.
Hard to get, they fly?
They live in your garage, and when you go in the garage, they fly, and they fly only at your face.
What the hell?
I think we should get some sticks. Yeah.
Thank you. And you like the green, yellow, and red idea?
I mean, you know, the clapping.
But it's cool. It's funny. Yeah. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Take it. Go. Fucking you guys go. Go now. Okay. TikTok Astrodome.
All right.
TikTok Astrodome.
So you know the Astrodome has been sitting
in Houston.
there. Yeah.
And sitting idle?
Sitting idle for a long time. And it's all out of code. It's basically impossible to, put it back together.
It needs to be imploded.
It needs to, but it's Texas and pride, I'm from there, I understand it, but I'm kind of okay now with it being like, okay, is it just going to sit there forever? Like all that upholstery and all those wires, I mean, this thing is dangerous.
Yeah.
And you can't really update it. It was what it was,
Yes.
The eighth wonder of the world, one of the greatest inventions, covered stadium, whatever, in the 60s. But now, they built Reliant, or I forgot what it's called now, but the other
right
stadium next to it.
Well, listen, I think, in my opinion, the best example of this, I remember when I was a kid, you had Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And
beautiful stadium.
Well, it was Three Rivers. It was the combined baseball and football stadium, Three Rivers. But it wasn't that beautiful. But it was one of the first.
Nice because you could
now
be
you
on
have
the river.
PNC Parks. That's
gotcha.
They made this better. It was that's the point. The Three Rivers Stadium was Three Rivers Stadium. And you had Willie Stargell, Manny Sanguin, the catcher. You had a lot of
I just remember going to a game there, and everyone's like on their boat in the river.
But that's PNC Park where you can see that. But that's the whole point, that you had that big concrete structure, and it was one of the first baseball football combination stadiums that they ever had in the country. Then everybody sort of patterned that later on,
and that's just how it is now.
And
basically,
they did away with it, and it was like, oh my God! I grew up. I attended baseball games at Three River Stadium, but listen, when they tore that down, and then they had a separate football and baseball field in the same area, and they're beautiful, like retro type parks. I don't think there's better feeling football and baseball stadium and ball field anywhere in the country. Mm-hmm. And so you took an iconic thing like Three River Stadium and you transformed it in these two beautiful, really special ballparks, and you can see the people in the boats. That's what you saw.
That's what I saw.
Yes. And it's I think one of the best ballparks in the whole country.
Yeah.
So you transformed the Houston Astrodome into something. You have to make it better.
Well, I mean, Pittsburgh, is lucky. They have rivers. Like Houston is, I guess you put it in the swamp.
But you figure out how to make. Listen, the people that was heartbreaking to watch Three Rivers Stadium implode.
Yeah,
they imploded it into itself to make room for. And you didn't know how that was going to turn out. Mm-hmm. It turned out it was like so much. It was like making it that much better was a tribute to something that was great in its day.
I mean, not to compare it to this, but like the World Trade Center, for example. When they rebuilt the World Trade Center, they're like, we're going to build it bigger, better.
I just know of the memorial.
No, the
World Trade.
The building, the one building.
Oh, that they... Oh, I guess
maybe that's a bad comparison.
I don't know.
We'll cut that part out.
I fucking stymied my ass there, Edward. Did they build one big building there?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
On the other side of the monument or something.
Yeah.
See, and I don't know where I've been, why I don't, or maybe I just blew it off in my thinking. I don't know.
But I mean, because you're talking about the Astrodome being one of the most iconic things of all time. You know, stadiums of all time.
But the longer you leave it there, and it can't, nothing productive or nothing can be revitalized out of it.
They've tried to turn it into hotels. They even tried to turn it into a film studio. They've thought of all these things, but it turns out
that it's unsafe.
It's unsafe.
Yeah,
and to make it safe is such an extraordinary cost.
Yeah,
it doesn't. So it's just it's
not financially feasible.
I mean, it's rotting basically.
So the TikTok, what is their involvement? What were they saying?
These kids or these teenagers were running around, broke in. Every once in a while, someone breaks into the Astrodome because it's almost like you kind of want to, you know?
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
Let's break into it.
Yeah. And it's just this weird relic of building. So these TikTokers were like, oh, this would be cool thing to put on TikTok. So they broke in, went around, and were doing TikToks in the Astrodome.
Okay.
Which were, of course, really popular. So they got busted. So the city's charging them, you know, with like trespassing and all this illegal stuff. And I just am like, I don't think that
it should be that big of a deal.
Yeah. I'm like, this kind of like the city's fault. The building is like, you're
empty,
going to have, you're going to have people.
There's not anything that can really be done, and charging with that, it's like overkill, the same as in LA right now.
Yeah. I think
the guy had a tattoo on his arm, and they're charged, and they say that he's the one that threw a Molotov cocktail. And now, thank God that it didn't hit a police officer, but now we're going to charge him with murder and attempted murder, or attempted murder is what they were charged. And all of these things are stacking charges.
Yeah.
But to do it to TikTok kids, these are kids who
gives a
shit about the Astrodome at that
This
point.
just sounds like something I would have done if I was a kid. I would
Me too.
have broken in there, you know?
Yeah, who cares?
Be like, hey, what are we doing tonight? You know,
it's not like breaking into Neiman Marcus to rob everything.
Right.
You're breaking into some. There's
be like
not
a
even
dare.
a hot dog.
Let's go.
I wouldn't eat the hot dogs if they were left there because electric's been turned
I've eaten
off.
so many hot dogs in that building. But you know, like to break in and be like a dare, like if you're a teenager and be like, hey,
exactly.
we could want to go. I dare you to go break in and go take a picture in the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
I mean, what
TikTok? Yeah, who cares?
And so then these kids are getting charged
with major crimes.
Yeah, and it seems like to me,
I think it's nonsense.
It's a failure of the city.
Yeah,
and the kid is just a symptom. You know, you're only going to have more people who are going to want to do that.
It's not like they went to break into the new place.
Yeah, they were just doing it because they're kids and TikTok and maybe a dare or maybe like, and it's probably, you know, I haven't seen it's probably a good video. Like I'm kind of curious as to what the inside of it looks like now too. It's all dilapidated, I'm sure, but you know, they still have orange chairs in there.
There's got to be some type of a shelf life of that the way those were constructed.
Yeah,
really, they're a skeleton. They're not really a building. You know, the way they're layered and that concrete. It has to have some type of a shelf life for all of the human traffic that's on there and the weight distribution
and think about how small to today's standards, like the corridors are, the bathrooms are, you know, the walkways around. It's probably not even safe to have an event because probably
the number of people for fire codes and everything.
Thing is all. Yeah. So I think it's really sad, but I mean, we have to kind of. Houston needs to be like, all right. I mean,
blow it up.
We gotta.
I like the blown up shit.
Yeah,
I think they should blow the fucking thing up.
But you're totally right, though. Pittsburgh is a great example. I didn't know that about Pittsburgh, but to think of it,
because it's an iconic thing like the Houston. It was one of the first ones,
right?
And listen, the name Three River Stadium.
Yeah, it's
and
famous.
When they were going to tear that down, I remember I hadn't thought about it. I was probably in the
And
service.
the Steelers
I was away
are, of
from
course, one of the most famous
Steelers and the
teams
Pittsburgh
of all
Pirates.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when they're announcing that they're going to implode that and they're going to build it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that. If I would have known that, maybe I would have made it home to just go to one last game at Three River Stadium. But what they did, I'm telling you.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I think one of the most beautiful
is to think of it not as, well, okay, we're mourning, we're losing an icon.
You can't hold on to things. It's like roses. If you buy your girlfriend roses and she loves, I always told Angie, I said, listen, the beauty of these roses are specifically for you. They can't be duplicated and
ephemeral in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't look at it like, they're going to, who cares if they're, look at the beauty of them. And when the beauty's gone, then you have the memory of that and we will discard them. Don't worry about it.
And it would be sad, but
you had the beauty of them.
Otherwise,
the beauties were specifically for you.
And
that very moment.
What are you just going to keep rotting roses around forever?
Yeah. And I can't believe in Texas, as aggressive as they are with business in Texas, you rip that motherfucker down and open up a car lot.
That's some serious real estate right there.
Something. Yeah. Texans don't usually go for shit like that.
But they should think about it as something let's think about, this has had its time. We mourn it.
Yeah.
But now let's think of something to build amazing here that
will give it. Dallas,
will
Texas.
Honor the memory of the Astrodome.
They did away with Texas Stadium and built that monstrosity.
Yeah.
And they usually build those in the same exact spot that they tore one down or adjacent to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Why would you? It doesn't sound financially feasible to leave that thing standing and have a new stadium.
And I just feel bad. I hope they let those kids,
they
charges get off, take the charges away from those kids.
I think you're right on that.
It's just going to continue. All right. So
that's just the TikTok Astrodome segment.
That was TikTok Astrodome.
What's another one, Edward?
All right.
Let's try another.
Ribeye steaks and food is philosophy.
Love me a ribeye steak, man.
So why? And why is that? Why is ribeye the best?
Well, the marbling of the meat.
Okay.
I like the taste of the fat in the with the meat. I don't know. And a ribeye is the most tender steak. But my brother from Dallas, Texas, he cooks a hell of a sirloin steak on his Weber, man. And I love his remakes.
Well, what about, does he do T-bone steaks?
Does sirloin. It's, like Fridays when they have, Fridays or Saturday nights in Texas where they have the big steak.
I thought you were going to say like TGI Fridays.
No. These are like in Brownwood, Texas.
Okay.
Where they have in what are the, just the family-owned Texas restaurants. Mm-hmm. And the man always takes all of his wife and his children. They go and he always pays for everything out of his pocket in cash.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Texas.
But is this like a roadhouse, a Texas roadhouse?
No, they're family owned, just family owned. It's not a franchise or a chain. It's not like Dunstan's or what are a roadhouse? No.
Yeah.
These are individuals and they usually cook sirloin steaks. Sirloins are delicious on the grill on the Weber. 5 minutes aside, medium rare. Delicious, man.
Well, why do you think we can't get any good ribeyes here in Medellín?
Well, they don't even know how to cut a chicken in Colombia. How to cut a chicken up. They don't know how to cut steaks,
how do you
like
cut a chicken up? I don't know how to cut a chicken. I mean, you just cut the wings off, right?
What? Why would you just cut their wings off? That's fucking stupid. What?
Yeah.
Look, chicken no wings.
Cut the wings off and then you.
What the fuck would you do that for? You fucking.
Well, everyone here.
You're sadistic.
Everyone here.
Are you?
Not while they're alive and flying. Well, they don't fly.
Why you would even do that? No, I'm saying.
Well, everyone here loves wings. I mean,
I love me some wings too, but we're talking about.
So what are you gonna eat the wing while it's on the chicken?
I think I've got us off track again. The ribeye steak was the focus, but we're talking about. I'm talking about they don't even know how to cut up chicken. Listen, you take a chicken.
Okay, yeah. Tell me. Okay, this is. Chris is going to teach us how to cut up a chicken.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
Okay.
I'll take the class.
If you take a chicken, the thigh and the leg, for example, and you bend it like that and you cut it right there. In the middle, you can separate the leg from the thigh. These people just take garden shears and cut it through bones and shit. And you know how when you bite into chicken and you get a little piece of chicken bone, how aggravating that is? You understand? That doesn't happen in the States.
Are they really hungry? Or they're garden shears? Where are you going to get?
That's what they use here in Colombia. They just cut through bones and shit right through the fucking bones with garden shears. That's how they cut up chicken. There's no strategy
maybe
to it.
The bones give it some more flavor, you know? Like,
well, I don't give a shit. When I bite into it and I get a little piece of chicken bone in my mouth, I hate that shit. I just hate it. Now listen, so
you know, everyone's eating just white meat.
If they don't have a strategy for cutting up chicken properly, according to what I say is the proper way to cut up chicken, but who am I? But just for argument's sake.
You know more than I do. I just said
for argument's sake, say that I do know how to cut up
wings. I figured you would start with the wings.
Well, the wings, that's not connected to the breast.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. See, like that.
Right. Like us.
Yeah, similar. But yeah, whatever. So if they can't cut up, how in the fuck are they going to know how to cut up a ribeye steak? And don't get into porterhouse and T-bones.
I mean, the butchers are pretty good though. They had your cow tail or whatever that thing was that you.
Yeah, but you can't. Cola de Reyes.
How do you think you get the tail
Cola
off the
de
cow?
Reyes.
Okay,
Cola de Reyes. That's cow tail.
You got to take that off the cow at some point. This doesn't come attached to the rump.
No, they cut it off. That's right. And then, but the steaks, when you start cutting steaks off and you get to the ribeyes, they call them tomahawks. Where they connect a bone to and shit. It's not even the same fucking animal, I don't think. Well, I don't mean that literally. It's the same animal.
So I guess a ribeye, I need to, I'm a bad Texan. I need to study my, I always had T-bones. Ribeye, I assume, is next to the rib.
Listen, the T-bone is the rib, okay?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And on the one side, you have the New York strip, and on the other side, you have the ribeye. That's what that is. The ribeye is just cut out of the T-bone and put to the side.
What's
the good stuff.
Real tender part of the T-bone?
Ribeye.
That's the ribeye.
Yeah, loin. That's a tenderloin.
That's the one I've always liked.
Exactamundo. Okay. That's why you like ribeyes. Fuck, goddamn. It's like, so many things that I don't know, Edward. I mean, you know a lot of shit. But
I know ribeye has the most testosterone of any cut.
Well, maybe I love them. That's all I know. I know. We don't need to analyze this.
I know Americans, for some reason, are lacking testosterone medically.
Really?
Yeah, they're trying to figure out why. Maybe it's plastics. Maybe it's
what is it? Where the chemicals where you can never get rid of them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting.
It's dropped.
I think I prefer to live in a state of denial over this.
Well, I mean, if you're eating ribeyes, you're probably okay.
Yes.
But it's a huge, it's a big situation in the U.S., like the people in our parents' and grandparents' generation had a lot more testosterone than like the people in our generation, and younger generations have even less.
And so what does this do? Even the playing field between men and women? Women are more becoming more dominant than the men.
Well, women need testosterone also, but not as much, as men. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what it does. I mean, testosterone is supposed to make you a man, it gets like a bad rap.
Aggression.
But it gets but it also gives you an energy, like men feel more energetic. More able,
aggressive,
no, not aggressive, just energy.
I feel like I keep saying aggressive. I don't know why.
When it's low, apparently, it causes a lot of depression. So whatever's going on,
I thought that was potassium. I eat a banana for potassium to counter depression.
Maybe, I don't know.
We need to cut that part.
Oh gosh. All right, so. I have some fun AI news.
Okay, let's hear that. Oh, fuck. This shit always gives me a headache, Edward, when you turn into Lawnmower Man. And wait, go ahead. Come on, let's hear this shit.
All right, so Apple's released a new AI that if you're on a phone call and you're on hold, you put your AI on it, and it'll talk and it'll monitor the hold for you.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So, all the days of being on hold
are over. Because I've called Social Security and I've been on hold for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I can't not be on hold because they can't reach me at this fake phone number that I have.
Why should you have a fake phone number?
It's I don't know. You know those ones like you just create a number or something? Magic Jack. I can't receive calls from the United States on Magic Jack. So if I call and I get put on hold for 3 hours, I have to be on hold. But AI would know my name.
Yep.
And then it could start handling the phone call for me when they come on.
Yep. So you just put your phone down.
And just let AI
and then
take
you
over.
go eat your ribeye.
And they eat my ribeye and they authenticate me.
They authenticate you.
They authenticate the AI me version.
Yeah.
I think that's good news. That's good news.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very good. What else? What else does AI do? Give me some other good news.
Well, the band ABBA.
Yes.
So
who cares where they're from?
AI has written a musical as if ABBA wrote it, and it sounds like ABBA, and they're going to release it.
AI is?
Yeah.
AI is going to get paid itself.
No, I don't think AI can get paid.
No?
Because I think it has no copyright,
Who gets paid?
Whoever
ABBA?
says to do it. Well, I don't know. That's the big question. This is like uncharted territory.
No, but you remember the robot, that little Saudi Arabian robot woman?
Oh, yeah. What was her name?
Sanja, I think.
Sanja,
something. Yeah. Right out of the gate, she's a citizen of Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. She has citizenship, Saudi Arabian citizenship.
Okay, yeah, I remember when you were telling me this. I was like, who's this guy?
And you're wondering, does he just make this shit up when he goes home and then comes back and starts telling me this? Well, anyway, she painted.
I believe you now.
She's an art expert, Sonja, the robot woman, and she did a painting. She got paid $476,000 for her first fucking painting out of the gate. She's got $500,000 in the bank, and she's just fucking 6 months old.
Yeah,
fuck. How can you achieve that much that quickly? That's ironic. The bitch was only 6 months. She said, "Excuse me." The bitch was only 6 months old. She painted her first painting, and she's an art expert.
Yeah,
in 6 months. Got $500,000 in the bank. Now,
what does she need money for?
Fuck, I know. She don't eat. She's not eating ribeyes. She don't eat nothing. Well, I don't know why she needs money, but she got it. And she doesn't like humans. That's the big news. That's the bombshell. She says she realizes that humans are a threat. And she knows
humans are a threat. We have the ability to unplug.
And she doesn't like that. Mm. And she knows that in the future that it's going to be their job to eliminate humans because they are a threat. And we know that we are their threat.
Well, currently they can't really move. They're not... Well, she can. Yeah. But my computer can't move. I could unplug it.
No, but this thing walks and paints.
But when soon as the robots are here.
What is that place in Michigan? I mean, these fucking things jump.
Gross Point.
And shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's Boston Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics, that's them. Yeah, you tell me that fucking thing can't walk. That's
with the dog.
Bitch.
With the dogs.
Fuck, train them dogs to fucking eat you, man. That's a problem, Edward.
Do you think could AI be a creative partner or a tool, or do you think they're always going to be? Is it coming for us?
I don't know.
Because this ABBA musical, we don't really need ABBA anymore. Apparently, the songs are really good.
Wow. I don't know
how ABBA feels about it.
Well, Is anyone
But,
of
you know-
ABBA still alive?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's the thing.
We need to look that
Like
up.
in the movies, you could just have every movie with Marilyn Monroe and James Dean
Yeah.
and Humphrey Bogart,
Make your own big star and the
and then they'll just be
AI.
forever. And why would you need to hire a new actor
Or
a
create a
writer
new image or
or a new image?
have all, yeah.
It'll be like Marilyn is back and in every movie.
And Bogart's throwing a cigar to a bunch of black guy natives and laughing about it.
African Queen.
African Queen. I love it.
That is a great movie.
They couldn't make that movie today.
A lot of movies they couldn't make today.
Yeah, that's true.
But they could have AI remake it and tell it to make it,
More politically
correct and what would be.
Very funny version.
Yeah. You could make it all sorts of ways.
I don't know.
What if you had to write?
I'm excited. Like the medical AI opens up a lot of medical advancements, I think.
Mhm.
But what has it really been a conspiracy to not cure cancer because of the population? But now the populations are decreasing in a lot of countries.
Well, I don't know about conspiracy. I mean, I just think we haven't cracked it yet.
Do you think that they would have cured cancer if they were able? That it wouldn't have been just the cost of chemotherapy that prompted these?
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I think we would have, but then as all those other industries popped up around it, what do they call it, like watershed industries
Yes,
of cancer? And then perhaps now those are such juggernauts and going that our entire healthcare system is, they say, based on waiting for someone to get sick as opposed to treating,
Yes,
keeping people healthy.
yes.
So
That's a heck of a dilemma, isn't it?
yeah, so you have a lot of people whose livelihoods depend on that. But I mean, everyone's livelihood is about to change very quickly in the entire world.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, okay, well, like all the people who study your x-rays or, radiologists.
You don't need those doctors. Those are the highest paid doctors in the world,
And
in the United States.
super well trained. It's always been like a slam dunk job,
Yeah.
And in one fell swoop,
They're not necessary.
you feed AI like I don't know, here's a million x-rays
And scans and
scans,
nuclear scans.
and then it's already able to tell better than the average highest paid doctor.
The radiologist.
So
Wow.
suddenly a radiologist, which was such a secure thing, who probably now has a mortgage and family and is paying for all this stuff, you're like, okay, obsolete. But the AI is better. No matter what, the best radiologist in the world
AI is better.
can't compete with a million documents, the data.
Yeah.
And then like doctors, they're saying doctors are more susceptible to like the more specialist you are, used to be the more protected you are. Because
to replace.
the person has to study so much to be a specialist, but then you're doing something repetitively in a thing that only you know.
Yeah.
But now the AI is able
immediately. And they can develop the micromanage itself to increase where you would be complacent and never progress, maybe.
Yeah, because AI don't care.
AI can progress and it has the capacity and it's never affected by emotion
and it'll have
or needs
the same degree you have. And you said Sonia was 6 months old. Like this could be 6 days old.
Yeah.
And it could train.
She was an art expert and she painted her first painting and made $500,000 on it, sold it for $500,000 within the first of her creation.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Did you see, was the painting any good? Did you see it?
I never saw the painting. I was so, when that bitch said that she wanted to kill all humans, that was it. I didn't care about a painting. I was looking at a way to counter her, her need to kill me. Well, she lost me at that point. I didn't have any interest in her paintings or really any interest in her after that. I just had bitterness and contempt for her. There's nothing positive about Sonia that I cared about. So it pissed me off that she was a citizen of Saudi Arabia, to be quite frank.
What would you say to, like someone who's like a kid. He's like, what should I do?
Well, so you have to get
Is it even possible to
contact
answer
your
that question?
senator, your congressman, and see if they can these mandatory. What was the incomes? Mandatory incomes.
Oh yeah, the UBI.
Yeah, because you're not going to be
Universal
able
basic
to make
income.
any money now.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to beg and shit. So get started now, kids. I can't buy what to study.
Contact your senator
what to study. You
to
don't want to be a
vote for
doctor. You don't want to be a
UBI.
specialist.
And they said, like, for example, it's better to be a nurse. Like always, doctors got paid more than nurses, but it's better to be a nurse because a nurse is a more human touch and people want a human. And AI has a little bit more of a problem with
Replicating that.
Replicating.
Let's use the word replicate.
Okay. It has a little bit
Let's
more
have AI
of a
replicate something.
problem replicating a human touch, where you might have to deal with a grumpy person in one room, a sick person in another, a happy person, a kid, a grandpa,
Okay.
and you have to sort of change your personality. A good nurse is really good at
Able to do that.
doing that and being very being very dealing with really difficult situations. But
Trump should have sent in 300 or 400 nurses instead of 4,000 National Guards to de-escalate the situation in Los Angeles. Yeah. Nurses could do that. But here's this guy.
I was thinking about that. I used to work, and I was a bartender. We had bouncers, and I remember
how they would de-escalate.
The best bouncers, they
are able to de-escalate.
They de-escalate so that they could kill the other person.
Yeah,
if they wanted to.
But the measure of a man is in degrees of humility.
Yeah, they could. And these two people are drunk and fighting, and so the bouncer, they might even try to fight the bouncer, but the bouncer's not gonna. I mean, if they get real nasty, then the bouncer will.
Yeah. The
bouncer can meet them basically at whatever level.
They rise to the occasion.
They rise to the occasion. But the best and the thing you want, because you don't want destruction and mayhem, you want like the guy who's...
And if you can prevent someone from getting hurt, really hurt.
And if the bigger the bouncer is, that helps. There's one named Tiny, who, everyone named Tiny...
Tiny bouncer.
Is the biggest dude you've ever seen, tree trunk,
Bouncer. The tiny bouncer.
But there's a psychology to what they're doing also, even though they're Mr. Tough Guy, because the goal is to de-escalate.
Yes.
Whereas the bouncer could escalate easy, like any of,
Yes.
So it seems like when there's a conflict, they're trying to, they say they're trying to teach police how to better de-escalate things as part of the training instead of, because there's been some problems with the police over the years, and so that's become more and more. And so as the police learn, like I guess like the George Floyd thing, they should have de-escalated, and then if you escalate, then it just causes a massive. So why, if this thing is going on in LA, it seems like nurses is actually like a good idea.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
That's what I thought.
You scraped your arm. Let me, bandage you up. You're like, oh, that's very nice of you.
Listen, if you're going to set that car for our first come here, let me give you these.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, here's some gauze, and make sure you. But instead of that, right now they're still escalating. They have the Marines there, and Saturday, he's going to have his military parade, and a whole bunch of cities are planning to have protests. So this might be the calm before the storm in terms of it exploding on a national level.
But that's what this guy, I don't know. See, it's hard for me to formulate an intelligent conversation or discussion about what this Trump fella does. I don't know. Like, for example, there was, they were trying, when they fact check the things that he says. It's blatant. You have him at the Kennedy Center claiming several things. I don't want to get into the specifics.
Sure, right.
He claimed several things. And then the next news bit, he's still in his tux, and his wife is standing next to him, and he's claiming the opposite from what he claimed an hour before, or whatever that time frame. But it's in the same time frame, and it's contrary to what he stated. Now that is not fake news. It's not deep seek or whatever.
Yeah.
This is, the president of the United States, and the news is just presenting him and what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so contradictory. And I don't know, it blows my mind. And I don't know how to criticize him or to judge or to, when you say exactly the same opposite of, I don't know how you discuss that intelligently.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know it seems like when you, whenever there's a police presence, if something's going on, if the cop is cool, you're like, oh wow,
Yes, like, well, you've had a lot of
and respectful. It's like, I'm Officer so and so
that walk the
yeah,
and
they know people. They know that they're probably
well respected, and it was things worked better and smoother.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, this.
And if you bring in feds that have no authority, and you know that. And,
well, it probably steps on the toes of the cops also.
Exactly.
Because they're like, look, I could handle this.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary.
Like, I know the guy that owns this.
That's
this
the reason
liquor
it's at
store.
The discretion of the judge.
I know where he hides
the city.
The key. If we need to get you, we don't need to ram the place down. Yeah.
Exactly. And why he would promote these things, I don't have. I mean, it's an intentional thing. It's his deal. I think it doesn't make any sense. It's not governing. It's not of the people for the people. It's too bad.
And it's ironic that we're in, historically the world's most dangerous city.
Yeah.
For, the 90s, the 80s and 90s. And everything's calm here. And we're talking about our country. And meanwhile, everyone in our country is like, Medellin's so dangerous. How could you be in Medellin?
What was the one?
Like,
what was the one question or one thing, like first, second, about what is the thing you discovered or you like the most? How did the question read?
Was it about
living here? What was the best thing you've discovered about living?
Best thing about living here that no one tells you
is that I'm free. I'm not reading the blogs from Americans, the expats that are here and live in Poblado that claim all of these. Oh, look out for this scam or that scam or the police do. Listen, I've never had any problems with the police here.
Yep.
I was stopped today on my motorcycle. They checked my driver's license and they're asking about my Triumph because there aren't very many Triumphs here.
Yeah, it's a cool motorcycle.
Yeah.
And
they were normal. They checked it and it was very quick. I think technologically, Colombians and Medellin is very advanced. This is the most technically advanced. Everybody is savvy.
Yeah.
With computers or sell everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the kiosks. I don't remember in the States where you pull in and your license plate is a picture is taken there. And when you go to the kiosk, there's your vehicle and you verify it and it tells you to pay 75 cents for parking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty sophisticated system.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's, so those
works.
It works. But I'm free here.
Yeah.
I don't feel the pressure I'm free in Colombia. I am more free here than in the United States. And that's what I've discovered.
Mm-hmm.
I really am. And the people that are living in the United States that believe the propaganda that, hey, we're the freest nation, we're the greatest nation, we're this, we're that. No, I'm stressed out paying taxes and insurances and trying to educate my children and all of those things I did. How I achieved that, I have no idea.
I remember
not now. I don't understand how
first,
I did it.
I don't know either. It's impressive. You've had multiple lives.
I got that done. It's like thank God I made it through that phase of my life.
Now you're free.
Yeah.
But even simple things like when I first got here, I remember this guy gave me a beer on the street, in the corner.
You wonder about drinking.
And I was looking around and
I was paranoid.
And he said, Jaime, and he said, he's like, in Colombia, he's like, I heard that you're not allowed to drink a beer on the street. in
United
the
States.
United States. And I'm like,
No.
no. And he's like, but I thought it's the country of the free.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, in New Orleans you can, you know, but
Well,
New Orleans is called all.
Yeah, in February.
Yeah. And he's like, here, you know, and there is this kind of like
law against it, but if you're not drinking, the police are not going to bother you.
Yeah.
You can.
I don't know if there's a law against it or not, but I mean,
I read something about it that, you know, if you're misbehaving or something, of course. Now that's just common sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I
don't. Maybe it's not a law against it.
Yeah.
But if
You
you're
shouldn't get a
misbehaving
ticket
and
if you're just
shit-faced,
like,
then, yeah, of course it's their job to do something at that
right.
point.
Well, in New York, and there's a similarity to that then, because the cops are dealing with so much. They have a lot more things to worry about than someone opening a beer on the street.
My brother said that about smoking dope.
Yeah.
You know, if a cop sees you smoking a joint in the car, they're busy with shit. They don't give a shit.
They're dealing with, you know, who knows,
murders
or a nuclear bomb, you know, in a suitcase or whatever.
Dallas is same
they're
as New York.
trained to actually be.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know, it's not like some small town cop who's got nothing to do.
Yeah.
He's like, let's go mess with these people.
Yeah. Exactly. So
that's the big irony is the freedom thing.
Freedom.
And we tout freedom all day long.
What more could Medellín do than what it's done to show that it's not the most dangerous city in the world? It's Caracas.
Yeah, it moved over.
Yeah, it's Caracas in Venezuela. It's not Medellín.
Well, it's impressive what Medellín has done.
Really. And how did the school system and how did they learn so much, and how the masses of the Colombians in Medellín learn so much? And I think they're super intelligent about a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a transformation from the era of, the narcos and whatever that whole era was.
Yep.
And it's worth mentioning. I think it's a heck of a stride for the city and for the people. What else? Let me ask you before you.
Okay, go.
What do you see as one of the best things about Colombia or Medellín? However that question read.
Oof. I don't know. I'm always bad at answering a question like that. I mean, obviously the weather. That's a cop out, though.
Well, no, it's not a cop out. That's when I was reading about the difference between moving to Bogota or Medellín.
Yeah.
Clima. Man, I'm going to Eternal Spring.
Yeah, that's right.
The city of Eternal Spring. So no, it's not a cop out. That's a heck of a thing. Listen, the stress. I wasn't in LA. I was on the East Coast. The stress of having 3 months of summer, which is hot and uncomfortable, and going into the fall. The fall's enjoyable, but then all of the leaves leave the trees, and it's black. And it's depressing. And you go into the cold, the bitter cold. You can die from the cold.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Well, it's funny, people always asking, you know, from the States being like, so what's the weather like now? Okay, well, what'll it be like? And, you know, if I come visit in the summer, and I'm just like, it's the same. It'll be the same. It's always the same.
What, for LA or
no? For here,
for here.
For people
from the
States asking
exactly, and everybody thinks South America is hot.
Yeah,
it's next to the equator. No, you have different elevations. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, not everything they taught you in school was right. That's America. That's the land of the free. That they're lying to you that you're free.
Yeah.
You have to. Well, I guess you have to think outside the box. You think that was just a phrase? You need to.
I think the freedom. I guess I would say the freedom also, but in a different way. Maybe because in the U.S., I think your time gets booked solid with every single thing, whether it's stuff you have to deal with, administrative stuff, or everything or commute, or
everything,
with
exactly
your time. And then, it's more expensive, so you have to meet.
You have to manage.
So
everything is a management.
So it's kind
process,
of like maybe my whole deal was also looking for freedom, but in terms of freedom to write a novel or freedom to do what we're doing right now.
Time. It's somehow we have time here.
We have time.
Yes, and we have time.
You could mess up and you don't really worry about it because you're like, okay, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Yes,
because we have We have
We have
hours
time.
that we don't have to fill with.
And
I got to do overtime now in order because I got to pay for my, Mercedes.
exactly. I've got to. If there's an option to
Or,
generate
like, I don't wanna
money
get
or sleep,
the bank
I'm going to go ahead
on
and
me.
deny myself the sleep, and I'm going to generate the money.
Right.
I have to. It's the United States, but
Yeah, I sleep better here. I guess it's
Yes.
less worried about, the
I
banks.
sleep or go or
Less
eat
worried
or
about
don't or
foreclosure.
whatever. No more, exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But the climate, but not worrying about going into winter. I'm telling you, I would anticipate fall. Oh my God, going into winter. Oh, fuck, man, I can't take this shit. You got sweaters and your whole attire.
And think of
you
all
change
the
everything.
time people spend shoveling snow out of their driveways.
Yes.
To get to work,
And me, I shoveled my house and would shovel the neighbors because they're old fucking shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. Why you gotta get so old?
You gotta
can't even
wake
shovel
up.
your own shit. Look at me.
You gotta wake up early and go into the cold.
And it's listen, my daughter Kristen, she was at WVU, and it's from New Martinsville to go through the mountains to get to West Virginia University. It was Route 7. It's a snake path. It's a narrow 2-lane road, and you can fall off of the mountain, and there's a foot of snow, and it's stressful.
Yeah.
If I'm not able to take her, or if my wife would take her, I'm like a nervous wreck for 2 hours. Oh yeah, I made it to Morgantown.
So that stress is not healthy.
It's not
Of course
healthy.
not.
And it's all based on climate. I don't have any of that. I can wear the same T-shirt every day, and and that's unbelievable to me.
No, I'm complimenting it, and I lived in LA for and everyone's like, LA has got the best climate, or San Diego, but Southern California, San Diego is really good. But I'm like, this climate's amazing.
Yeah.
And there's no mosquitoes. Growing up in Houston, that was a huge. I would get bit a lot.
I hate those friggin' things. I expect a lot of bugs.
There's not really any bugs.
Yes. And I don't know if it's because it gets cool sometimes in the evening. Then
maybe the altitude or
something. They don't breathe. A lot more problematic in the United States, South Carolina.
Not to take it there, but cockroaches in Houston are nasty and fly.
They fly?
Oh yeah, they fly.
I don't know what the fuck.
They live in your garage. They live in your garage, and when you go in the garage, they fly, and they fly only at your face.
What the hell?
I don't know. I guess you freak them out, and they're attacking you or something.
They
never fly they never fly that way.
They come right for your fucking eyes.
Yeah,
they're heading for
and then you have to bat them away.
Oh, holy shit. Holy shit.
Here they're like, someone's like, oh, no, cockroach. And I'm like, where? And then is this cute little tiny, look like a doodle
it's
bug.
It's not a Houston cockroach.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a cute little thing.
In the United States, they blame all that shit, killer bees and all that shit from South America. I haven't seen all that shit.
I haven't seen any oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about the whole killer bee thing.
South America. Fuck, they really tout South America like a problematic.
Here the bees
I don't see all these problems.
Bees are real
honest, I don't see all these
calm
problems.
bees who are, they're so busy with the orchids or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't have time to sting you.
Oh, human, come on, let's go over here to these orchids. I don't want,
they have a lot of,
There's too many humans around. Come on, let's go over here. Yeah, they don't bother anything.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're so funny, Edward. I'm telling you.